Welcome back to another episode of the Andrew Ramon Show. Hope you guys are doing good, man. We should call this the home sessions or something like that. Because hey, if you're just listening, make sure to watch our YouTube channel as well. Subscribe, share the videos, because we also have them here for you to watch. And man, how's y'all's weeks going? How's the current quarantine doing for you guys? I mean, at least for me, it's doing all right, I think. I think it could be better, obviously, considering the circumstances. But, I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this episode because as we finished the last episode last week, actually talking about that episode, have you created a new routine already? Hey, got to keep you accountable. If you don't even know what I'm talking about, watch the last episode where we talked about three things to help your quarantine not suck. We talked about, if you remember, help me out here. We talked about connecting with people. We talked about working on a new hobby of yours, and then creating a new routine, right? So I'm going to preach that right now, but go check out that episode. But hey, if you have already, hey, let me know what your new hobby is. Maybe it was painting, maybe it was drawing, maybe it was, actually those two things are basically the same thing now that I think about it. But hey, whatever the new hobby was, hopefully you're enjoying it. I'll tell you personally, I'm super excited because coming up pretty soon, I'm going to be doing a new endeavor. I'm going to be kind of starting to learn a new language. If you watched my last episode, I love language learning. And now, little quick thing, because if you know me, you probably feel like, how many languages does this guy speak? Because I always talk about learning new languages. So let's get this clear. I speak English and I speak Spanish. Hablo español, hablo inglés. Así está. So I speak those completely fluently. One, because I was born and raised in Mexico, and then obviously live here now. And I think my third best language right now is Italian. And I've been studying it for about 6 months. Pretty cool. I feel pretty good with it. I also took about a year of Japanese in college. So don't test me too much on my Japanese. Like I said, we went totally anime style last episode. So I speak a little bit of Japanese, and then believe it or not, I'm actually German. I'm from German descent. I know I'm Mexican too, but I'm from German descent. So when I learned that when I was a kid, I really wanted to learn German. So I know I know basics of German, here and there, but that's actually the next language I'll be doing. So anyways, that's my hobby. I don't know what yours is, but let me know. You can always email me or you can DM me or whatever the case is. So this episode, whenever we talked last time about connecting with people, that got me thinking. That got me thinking about communication and connecting. So in this episode, I've named it Corona Communication. Anybody? I'm sorry. I thought that was a pretty good title. Corona Communication. Because today, I'm going to share with you a couple things that I've learned and I'm working on implementing in my own conversations about connecting with people. Because it's actually not as easy as people think. Oh, just connect with people, just talk with people. Because there's such a power in connection, like authentic connection. Now, what am I talking about? Because right now we live in the age of social media. We live in the age of text messaging, of DMs, of Snapchats and all that I honestly feel a lot of people have forgotten how to talk with each other in person. I have a family member of mine, and we talk. Whenever we talk and we text, it's like we're super talkative with each other. But whenever we see each other in person, it's like not the same for some reason. For some reason, we're way more talkative in the text than we are in person. Do you have a friend like that? Or are you that type of person that you're just like, you spit fire and with those thumbs, man. But whenever you come in person, you just don't really know how to talk with people. So in this episode, I think this is for you because it's going to help you how to connect with people and how to communicate during the Corona time. Corona communication. So I'm going to share with you three things that I've learned, and it's three techniques, I guess you could say, but it's helped me to become a better communicator, but also a better listener, and just to connect with people more authentically. Because let's be honest, have you ever talked with that person that at the end of your time talking with them, you just feel better? You just feel like they heard you, that you feel listened to. And you just like, man, I enjoyed that conversation. I like that person. Or the opposite, you've talked with a person, you're like, oh, dude, I can't stand this guy. He just keeps talking. He has a podcast and he just keeps talking and talking about, oh, wait, that's me. I'm just kidding. I do talk a lot, but I ain't talking about me. But I've been in those conversations too, where the other person's so busy talking about themselves that I'm just like, are you gonna ask me a question or something? So in this time, I really want to help you guys of how to get the most out of your conversations with people, how to connect the most with people, especially in the time right now. We don't need flakers when it comes to communication. We really want to genuinely connect with people. So these 3 things that I'll share with you in just 1 second, I actually learned from a class. I learned from a class taught by Chris Voss. Now, you might not know who Chris Voss is, but Chris Voss is a retired hostage negotiator. Okay, let's stop right there. Did you just hear what I said? Hostage negotiator. I mean, this guy's the FBI, literally known as the top hostage negotiator in the world. Okay, and his job was actually to negotiate hostage situations. So one of the examples he gave is there was a bank robbery in New York, in Brooklyn, New York, a while back, where 2 or 3 people came robbed the bank and took about 3 people hostage. Now, what actually happens in those situations, I didn't know, but they bring a hostage negotiator on the line to talk with the criminals to let the hostages go. Okay, I cannot think of like a tougher job in the world. I mean, look, this just makes me speak like this. I'd be freaking out if I had to talk. I mean, I can barely say, like, what a pressure of a job. Like, imagine that. There's people's lives hanging in the balance. Most of our conversations, it's not people's lives hanging in the balance, but this guy is. So his class is about negotiation, but I'm not here talking about any negotiation. I'm just here to show you how to connect with people. And these 3 things, which I know I've been saying these 3 things for a while, and we'll get to that. It's not like I've applied it perfectly. I'm not, man. I'm a talker. I struggle listening, and I'm working on it, honestly. I mean, my bros know that. That I want to listen better. So it's really helped me. So let's go to the very first one, called mirroring. Now, you might have heard about this already, but I want to help you of how to put it into practice with conversations. So have you ever found yourself in the conversation that you're really not interested in? Let's be honest. Because, let's just say I talk a lot about languages, like I said, and about music. And a lot of times I just repeat myself with my family. I'm like, oh, I'm learning this new language, or do you want to learn this language with me? And they kind of, I'm sure it's not very interested to them. Or you've probably been in a conversation where the guy's like geeking out about something that you really have no interest in. But remember that communication is not about what you say, it's about who you're talking with. So I really want to encourage you that the reason I'm giving you all this is not just so you can become a better communicator, but it's so that you can connect with people more authentically, because real communication, I think, is getting over ourselves. Because if we're honest, a lot of times when the reason we are not talking, or the reason is because maybe we don't feel like talking, but it actually makes people feel great, and it helps people whenever you're there, at least to listen to them and to have a conversation, especially during this time of Corona. There's so many people that there's a lot of emotions going on right now, feeling isolated and all that. We don't want to feel isolated. One of the ways is to talk about what's going on. So what is this thing called mirroring? Well, mirroring is actually a simple thing where you just say back 2 or 3 words that the person told you. So for example, let's just say we're talking about, we're talking about the coronavirus, right? And I'm telling you, man, it's been so hard. It's been so hard for my family and I. So right now you could ask, really? Or something like that. But mirroring is taking those 2 or 3 last words that I said and just saying it back. So let's play this out. Okay, let's play this out. Let's see. If you're listening, play this with me. Practice it. Man, it's just been so hard in the corona for my family and I. It's been so hard for your family? For you and your family? It's just about mirroring. It's been so hard for you and your family? And whenever you do that, it actually... it resonates with that person saying, wow, you're listening, right? And all this has to be done genuinely, right? You're not there just to be like, fake it. No, you're there to be genuine with them. And it actually helps people feel listened to. Another way that you maybe have heard about this is active listening, right? Active listening is just repeating the last couple of words that someone said to make sure that you're telling them that you're listening. Because I'm just thinking about the people that you're saying, look, I don't really care what people have said. Well, one, that's a problem, right? That's a problem we have to get over. Like, we have to care about what people say and care about their problems. So mirroring is a great way that even when you don't know what to say, because I've heard that before, saying, look, I don't want to ask someone how they are because I don't know what to say afterwards. I don't know how to help them. What's super easy, you don't necessarily have to say a lot. You just have to mirror what they say. So let's practice it one more time. And now forget about the corona. Let's just say I'm talking about something that you're not very interested in, but because you care about me, you want to talk about it, right? It's the same thing. I do the same thing with you. And let's say it's about languages, right? So, man, I'm learning a new language next month. You're learning a new language next month? When you said that to me, I was like, yeah, like, I'm so excited. It makes me want to say more. It makes me want to express more. And whenever you have people express more, it actually makes people more comfortable with them. You know, there's a story that Chris Voss says about mirroring that you can actually become the most, there's a saying that says, interesting people are interested. So if you want to be someone, you know, that's an interesting person that people like and all that, you actually want to be interested in what they're saying. You don't have to know much. All you have to do is mirror. It's just that simple. So take that as a tool to connect with people, because one, we have to understand that connection is well beyond us. Okay, this is not a negotiation tactic. This is just a way for you to connect with people even when you don't know what to say during these times. Because when people are going through hard times, it's sometimes not about what we say, it's about what we don't say. And, you know, I want to help you. I mean, I've walked with friends through very hard processes in their lives. And sometimes you don't want to give a lot of advice, but you want them to share and express themselves. So you just mirror. You know, it works most times. And obviously it's not like you just keep mirroring like all the time, repeating. It gets annoying. But if you genuinely do it, I think it'll really help you. The second thing is called emotional labeling. You might have heard about this already, but emotional labeling is where you label the emotion. They actually did a study that they did kind of like an X-ray. It wasn't an X-ray, but like a CAT scan or something, where they can see the all the neuron levels and all the neuron activity in your brain. And they scanned these people as they were showing them just images that maybe made them afraid or something. And whenever it was this negative emotion that they were experiencing, the moment that they labeled it, saying, they asked them, what are you feeling right now? And they're like, I'm feeling sad. Whenever they labeled their emotion, it actually brought that emotion down. It actually helped to alleviate that emotion. It was the opposite too. Whenever you label a positive emotion, it actually helps someone get more positive and helps them. So I wonder how many times whenever you're talking with people and all that, the mere mention of labeling their emotion, of how they might feel, it actually helps people express themselves. It helps people be more excited. I'll give you an example. You know, you might be talking with a friend and you might talk with them. Hey, how was your week? It was okay. It was tiring and yeah, it was okay. Then what you could say is, it sounds like it was a tough week. And it kind of it gives someone the permission to say more. Because a lot of times what we need is just someone to hear us out. Maybe that's what you need. But be that person that people can talk to and they can express their feelings by just mirroring them. And the second thing is by labeling. So let me give you some practical ways. Use words like it sounds like, it seems like, it feels like. One thing to help you, and this is what I've learned, is not to use a lot of I's like, oh, I'm hearing that you're stressed, or I'm hearing that you're mad, or I think you're mad, because it's not about your opinion, right? It's just about labeling what it seems like. And that allows people, it could be, hey, you might have an angry family member that's just all stressed, and they might be even just labeling, saying, it sounds like you're mad. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, what's going to happen when I say that? Well, actually helps. It helps. Now, I can't promise, as Chris Voss says, I can't promise how much it will help, but it will help. And you'd be surprised, it just varies person to person. So the first thing is to mirror, right? Say the last 2 or 3 words, and it really helps people express more and share more of their feelings. The second thing is to emotionally label them. That helps to kind of, it's kind of like saying the elephant in the room, right? No one wants to say that someone's mad or someone's angry or someone sounds sad. But when you label it, you give the person permission. So maybe you have a friend and you'll talk to them this week and you can just say, man, it sounds like it's been a tough week. It sounds like it was hard on you. It feels like you're stressed. It feels like you're overwhelmed. Or it's the opposite. Wow, it sounds like you're excited. It sounds like you love doing this. Wow, it sounds like, man, this is very important to you. And I cannot tell you how much more that's going to help you communicating through this Corona time. And here's the last thing. The last thing is just a very practical advice in whenever you want to ask questions. Because obviously, these are just tools. These are tools to communicate. Whenever you don't know what to say, try just mirroring them a little bit. It might feel awkward at first, but that's okay. You can just practice it. Whenever someone feels stressed or you just want to give them the permission to share their emotions, label it. Label it. Put a label on it. It sounds like you're stressed. It feels like this. Don't say I think, because then that's your opinion, right? You're just saying what it sounds like, and that's fair. This last thing, this is super important. This last thing is the why questions. Have you ever asked someone the why question, like, why did you do that? Or why are you sad? Or why are you happy? Or why, especially whenever you're talking with friends and you want to know why. Why questions are actually, if you think about it, we were raised that whenever someone asks us a why is usually a bad thing, right? Why did you break the cookie jar, right? And we're stressed. Or why did you do that? It's usually, as kids, we were taught that a why question was kind of like a bad thing, like, ooh, why? So whenever you ask someone, even now, why, it kind of tends to have people go on the defensive. And you might notice, think about some conversations, right? Why do you get so mad? We just sometimes ask, right? What is that? Why do you even care? Or whenever we're arguing with someone, right? Like why do you even care? Or why does this even upset? Why does this upset you? And even asking that question, it makes them more mad, right? Or it kind of shuts them down a little bit. Well, a great way to avoid that is asking what and how questions. So let me ask you this, okay? Let me ask you this. Let me give you an example. So let's just say we're talking with a friend and they just had a hard week, this week. And instead of asking, why are you so tired? And that might be fine. But instead of, it's like, man, what made you so tired? Or how did you get so tired? These questions actually help us. So whenever why questions make people kind of close off and kind of defensive, what and how questions are great to have people open up and do this. Now, this is not just for Corona communication, right? That's important to be able to connect with people during this time. But it also, whenever you're talking with your family, and you're having, maybe you're having a discussion about something and you don't want things to get too heated, if you will. A good way is to try to avoid why questions, especially, come on somebody, if you got a sibling, you're like, hey, why did you do this? Or why didn't you leave things in their place? Instead, you can just how and what questions, what question is or how is a great way. How can I help you? Hey, how can I help so that this doesn't happen again? And my thing, I'll ask you a what question right now is what things can you apply that we learned today in your conversations with people? Because in these last couple minutes that we have together, I really want to share with you, and I want to just see, like, how can we really connect with people? Honestly, during this Corona communication time, like it is so easy to become isolated with people, and it's so easy to have conversations be so self-centered, right? About just talking about your own feelings, talking about your own situation. But communication is not a one-way road. Communication is a two-way road. It's a two-way street. So during this time, take the initiative to ask people and try mirroring them a little bit, so that they can open up. Try labeling their emotions so that they feel like they have permission to talk about it. And try to avoid a little bit the why question so that it doesn't close people off, and ask what and how, and hopefully this will help you to actually communicate and connect with people more genuinely and more authentically. So hey, we'll see you back here in another episode of the Andrew Ramon Show. Apply this in your life, and we'll see you next week. God bless.